Hey Community Church, I'm Dave Lanzer and I'm here with Ryan Frager and we're going to show you a little bit about the new technology that we've been installing in the sanctuary so that we can both live stream to folks who are not able to attend in our sanctuary and the new benefits that we're going to get to have in here when we get to start worshiping in person. So let's take a quick look through the new equipment in our sound booth. The first place we're going to start is with our new soundboard. This soundboard is digital, so if you were ever back here before and saw the 32 channels of lots of knobs and buttons, that was an analog board. The digital board gives us a lot of new capabilities, including, as you can see, Ryan pushing buttons that has different levels saved in here. It also gives us effects. Effects are the changes that we can make to the sound to make the sound more pleasing and enjoyable in the space. So a little bit of echo, a little bit of reverb, or something like that, that helps to fill the space and make the sound a little bit fuller. For those who are running the board, we also have the ability to label specific channels on the board dynamically, and we don't have to have a ton of little magnets back here anymore to keep track of what is assigned to each channel. For anyone who's worked back here before, it can be a little cumbersome. So there's a lot of other enhancements available on this board, but the primary thing we're going to be using now is a specific output for our live stream. So all the live streaming that was done in this sanctuary before was all done with ambient sound. It was either out of a camera or a phone, and just coming from the speakers that were in the sanctuary. We're now going to have a specific output that will provide really clear, high-quality sound directly into our new live stream. The next new component is our camera system. We installed 3 new PTZ, that's pan, tilt, zoom cameras here in the sanctuary underneath the balcony that all provide unique views of the front of the sanctuary. You can see here that camera 3 is moving all on its own seemingly, and that is being controlled here in the sound booth. So we don't have to have anyone working each individual camera in a different place in the sanctuary. It can all be controlled in the sound booth. And that's controlled through a little device here in the booth called a controller. The controller is kind of like an old joystick game, maybe an Atari or something. I know I'm dating myself there, but it's pretty fun. You can zoom in and zoom out, move the cameras around right here, and you don't have to go anywhere else. You can just stay in the sound booth. Those cameras all feed into this program that's in front of you now, which runs from our video switcher. On the left side in the top, you've got a preview, so we can set a preview and start adjusting the camera if we need to get a better picture of what we want. And then on the right side is the program. That's the actual output that's going into our live stream. So we have the ability to fade over, cut over, and as you can see, Ryan is setting up the next shot because we need a different angle for the Advent candle lighting that's going to happen tomorrow from where people are standing. And when we're all ready and the family's in the right place, we will fade over to the next view and send that out on our live stream. This is all controlled from a little device called an ATEM Mini Pro. It's by Blackmagic. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on here, but you can see the 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are our video inputs. 1, 2, and 3 are our PTZ cameras that are here in the sanctuary. And the 4th one comes from our ProPresenter computer. And then there's a whole bunch of other buttons on here that do cool things. But then as we push each individual button, it changes our preview and also lets us know this green button is the one our camera is going to change to when we decide to switch cameras. This is also going to give us the ability to do the word overlays into our live stream. So for those folks who are at home and worshiping with us on their own, they'll be able to see the words and participate with us there. The next big upgrade that we made here in the sound booth is ProPresenter 7. from ProPresenter 6 to ProPresenter 7, Renewed Vision completely rewrote their application from the ground up. So they scrapped all the old code, rewrote everything, redesigned the user interface to make it easier to learn. So on the left side is all of your libraries and your image bins. In the middle is where your content goes as you're preparing for your presentation. And then on the right side is what's actually being presented. So the top right corner has a preview screen that shows us the output that we're trying to display. And it also allows us to do fun things with audio and such. This new application is going to make it easier for people who haven't ever used ProPresenter before. It does make it a little bit more complicated for those who have used ProPresenter 6, just it's a little learning curve, but it's much more intuitive if you've never learned it before. We have a few advanced display capabilities here that we are pretty excited about, one of which is that we have the ability now to show our camera views through ProPresenter into the sanctuary screen. So if we are having children's time, for an example, we can zoom in on specifically whoever is doing children's time, and we'll have the ability then to show in ProPresenter whoever's there and be able to show the folks who are sitting in the pews what's being done up front that normally they wouldn't be able to see. It'll give us a new way for folks to engage with the content that's being presented here in the sanctuary, to really see what the children are learning, or if we're zooming in on other effects that are up front, or baptisms or things like that. So that'll be pretty cool. We also have a stage display output that we'll be able to use. So for anyone who's ever been up front, whether in the choir, in the band, in the bells, been a reader up front, it can be really hard to see what's being presented on the screen. So this capability will allow us to put a monitor either somewhere near the front, or hopefully in the future to hang a large one in the back, that will let those who are helping to lead worship from the chancel area in the front continue to look out towards the congregation and help to lead us in the content that's being displayed, rather than craning their necks to look up behind them to see the screen, to know when videos are playing or videos are going to end, or what words are up on the screen. This will also help for those teams that do singing, lead singing, to have the words of songs right in front of them and not need to have paper and worry about paper falling all over the place, and be more focused on just engaging in worship, connecting with God, connecting with the congregation. So all these things are pretty exciting. It's a lot of new technology that we haven't used here before, and it's going to give us some really great capabilities that we're looking forward to being able to take advantage of when we come back to worship together here in person, and to provide for any of our folks who are homebound or can't come out because they're at higher risk for COVID, or people who are traveling around the world, that we can still connect with them and they can still worship with us and be a part of events that we're having here at the church. So we'd love to invite anyone who's interested in any of the technology that we've got here to get in contact with the church office and let them know that you're interested in learning more about our audiovisual. Maybe you just want to learn how to operate the cameras because you like doing that kind of video presentation production. Or if you like doing graphic work and preparing things for the actual presentation, to do ProPresenter. Or if you've got a real ear for music and want to help with running the soundboard. We are looking forward to having new volunteers to be able to train in this and help us to take our ministry forward in the future. So I hope you enjoyed our little presentation here, our little demo, and we hope to see you on the team in the future.